just an hour and 15 minutes until I'm about to set off on my adventure. I'm going to New York City for 5 days, and then after that I'm travelling to South America, so I'm starting in the Galapagos Islands, then I'll be heading off to Peru, Ecuador, probably a bit of northern Chile, possibly Brazil, and then back up to New York for the final 2 months, so I'll be gone for about 5 months in total, and starting to get really excited now, seeing as I'll be leaving very, very soon for Gatwick Airport. And I just thought I would do a video to show what I've got in my backpack. So I've got a 65-litre backpack, which you can see in the corner, and that generally serves most of my travelling purposes. It's actually amazing because it can be kind of squashed small enough to fit on Ryanair and EasyJet as hand luggage, which is great. So the things that I'm taking, it's quite difficult because obviously I'm going to New York first and it's really, really cold there at the moment. They're experiencing lots of snow, and yeah, so I'm kind of having to pack for hot and cold because it's the height of summer in South America at the moment. In Ecuador I'm expecting it to be about 24 degrees minimum, that's degrees centigrade, and that's, yeah, it's gonna be really, really warm. So, for the cold weather, I have some thermals, this brilliant thing which is called a Magic Layer. It's very, very thin and you can put it underneath your clothes and it rolls up absolutely tiny and it keeps you really, really, really warm, so I'm going to be relying on that. I've got some of these leggings from Primark. I don't know if you can see, but there's a kind of furry lining and they're just very, very warm. You can put them under your jeans, you can put them under anything, and they're really, really great. Then in terms of footwear, I'm just taking my pair of old flip-flops. I didn't want to kind of pack my bag out with shoes because I thought it would get a bit annoying if I was having to lug around like too many pairs. So my only other pair is my trusty hiking boots, which I'll be wearing pretty much all the time. They're one of the best things I ever bought for under a £5. I got them in a charity shop for £4 a couple of years ago on a whim, and they've just kept me going ever since then. They're great. In terms of clothing for South America, I've just got a selection of things like this. A couple of thin t-shirts, some little shorts for the beach. Then I've got one thick jumper, which is alpaca wool actually, from Peru already. Then I've got a couple of pairs of kind of light trousers. I'm going to roll those up and they'll be able to keep me kind of cool and they'll be good for wearing if I get a bit sunburnt, which is probably likely. Then I've got a kind of smaller backpack to just take on smaller trips, so I don't have to lug that huge thing around. I've got a plug converter, international plug converter. I got this off Amazon for maybe £6 or something, and it's just really, really good. It doesn't have that many removable parts, and it's just kind of compact and useful thing to have. I've got a couple of electronics. I'm taking my trusty Nokia, and I might buy an international SIM card if I find that I need a phone, but to be honest I'm kind of expecting and hoping that I won't need to use it. Then I've got my headphones and iPod Touch. So this is the newest generation iPod Touch. I got it for eBay a few months ago, and it's great. I mean, you can get Wi-Fi on it, obviously, and so it kind of functions as a little mini computer if I need some Wi-Fi desperately, or I find myself in a hostel where it doesn't have computers. And I've downloaded a couple of podcasts onto that, some sort of BBC Woman's Hour, that kind of thing, to keep me going. So that's going to be very useful. It's obviously got all my music on it, which is going to be a lifesaver in those kind of long bus journeys. Then possibly the most important, I've got a couple of pens and some notepads. I'm the kind of person I like to kind of take notes as I'm writing and just keep a kind of written diary of everything that I'm doing, and so that will be in my backpack constantly. I'll be keeping that on my person so I can take notes of what I'm seeing and doing. Then I have some kind of toiletries. I've got some dry shampoo here because I'm fully expecting to be not able to shower for a couple of days if I'm doing some hikes to Machu Picchu or something. So I've got some dry shampoo, some toothpaste, a little Carmex for my lips, hairbrush, toothbrush, and shower gel and shampoo in one, and some deodorant. So that should do for now. I can always stock up later. Oh, and I've also got some extra thick plasters because I'm probably going to end up with a couple of, scrapes on my feet and blisters. Then, perhaps most importantly, I have my reading material. So I've got Albert Camus, The Outsider, Jack Kerouac, Big Sur, one of my favourite authors, George Orwell, another of my favourites, Coming Up for Air, and This Side of Paradise, and The Beautiful and the Damned by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I'm not a massive fan of The Great Gatsby, however I decided to give him another try, and I will be working my way through this when I'm gone. Books are obviously heavy, but I have a 20 kilogram luggage limit, and I figure that I'm going to be doing a lot of reading, I'm going to have a lot of spare time, a lot of waiting around for transport and planes and stuff, so books are really, really important. I'd highly recommend taking lots of books because you do find yourself bored and waiting around quite a lot. Then I've got some sun lotion and some insect spray, courtesy of my granny, who sent me a kind of going away pack full of useful stuff. That should be handy. I've got my bum bag, which is never going to leave me, and inside is my passport and some, my credit cards and my PADI scuba diving cards, which I will need when I get to Galapagos Islands and want to do some diving, which is very exciting. And you can't really dive without those cards, so they're pretty essential. So I've got the bum bag, it's going to be not leaving me. Then I've got some nice thick socks, which my sister bought me for Christmas, and which I think will be very, very handy for all that hiking I'm going to be doing. Couple of other books that my parents got me. So Latin American phrases, which is probably going to be really handy because I don't speak any Spanish. Wildlife of the Galapagos, because obviously it's one of the most incredible places in the world in terms of wildlife. So I've got them. I have 2 copies of my passport, a sort of printout of the main page, which I always try when I travel to keep a sort of photocopy of my passport in different bags. So yeah, I'll be keeping one in my small rucksack, one in my bum bag, and probably one in my main rucksack, just to be on the safe side. Yeah, and then obviously, last but not least, is my brilliant coat. This is Mountain Warehouse, and it's got loads of pockets, so it's perfect for travelling. The best thing about it though, and what's going to be most useful for me, is that because I'm going to lots of different climates, so I'm going to freezing cold New York first, then I'll be going to South America where it's going to be very hot, and at times I'll also be in the mountains, obviously if I'm going to Machu Picchu or some of the high altitude towns. I'm fully expecting to be cold at points, so this will be very useful for that. And the best thing about it is it's got this very kind of lightweight but extremely warm inner shell, and then you can kind of unzip that so it becomes just a raincoat and you can take the jacket out, which is really, really handy because obviously when it's the kind of climate where it's raining and really hot at the same time, that will be very, very useful. So that is everything, apart from the one thing that I can't show you, which is the camera, which this is being filmed on. It's a Sony A58. It's a DSLR camera, which I bought about 14 months ago. And I'd wanted a camera for absolutely ages to take travelling, and I finally decided and saved up to get a really good one. Obviously I'd recommend getting travel insurance, which I just bought yesterday, because you don't want to lose these important things and not be able to claim for them. So yeah, that's everything that I've got in my bag, and wish me luck.